Welcome back to Leeds Lately. Before we get into this video, if you could just hit that big button down below, that would massively help me out. And as well, check out the link to my Etsy store in the description down below to get yourself some Leeds United artwork designed by me. Today's video is going to be a transfer video, and I didn't really expect to be making transfer videos at this stage of the season, but of course the January window is something that Leeds are going to look to improve the squad in, I think, after not managing to attain some of the main kind of targets that we had during the summer window. Harry Wilson, of course, is one of them. We've, of course, made a video about Harry Wilson and what he could add to Leeds United, but Leeds have also been linked with a Brazilian youngster, Gustavo Prado, currently playing his football over in the Brazil Serie A, and somebody who, whilst having a £51 million or €60 million release clause, is reportedly available for around £17 million, when his actual price, according to Transfermarkt, is actually only €3 million. So this could be one of those deals where it's a kind of Brighton-style deal where they get somebody from the Brazilian league, and yes, they might have paid 17 million for him, and you might think at the time, whoa, hold on a sec, that's a bit much, but in a couple of years you could be selling him to Chelsea for 100 million. So it makes sense for Leeds to be looking a little bit further afield. Now, Gustavo Prado is 20 years old. Like I said, plays in the Brazilian league for Internacional, and is a right winger. He can also play on the left wing, and can also play in like a little bit deeper into the midfield as well. But if we were going to sign him, he would definitely be somebody who would be on the wing. This season, he has played 13 games in the Brazilian Serie A, scoring 1 goal, and played 3 games in the Copa do Brasil, scoring 1 goal as well. No assists over that time, but that's not to say that he hasn't been creating chances. When we actually have a little look into Gustavo Prado's statistics, they link up nicely with the way that I've seen him play. From the bits of footage and clips that I've seen of him, he is a very creative player. He likes to go past players. He likes to open up chances for his teammates, particularly probably more than himself. Sometimes he drops a bit deeper and plays balls forward. He's very good in that respect. So let's have a little quick look at his statistics then. So when we're talking about how many shots he takes, because we're saying that he's not necessarily somebody who always finds himself on the end of things in the box. However, he does like to shoot from distance, cutting in from the left or cutting in from the right and trying to take shots at goal from outside the box. He likes to take 3.83 shots per 90, which puts him in the top 3% of wingers in the men's next 14 competitions over the last 365 days. So men's next 14 competitions essentially includes the Championship, Liga Portugal, the Eredivisie, the Dutch league, essentially the Belgian league, all those leagues that aren't the top 5 leagues around the world. And he is way up there in terms of how many shots he takes. So it's not that he doesn't take shots, it's that he takes shots from outside the box and he tries to find that. But of course, that could contribute to his shot creating actions when those saves are knocked down to his teammates. You then have, if they score a goal, that counts as part of a shot creating action. So shot creating actions, 5.01 per 90, which puts him in the 87th percentile, so the top 13%. So when we're talking about that, we're talking about how involved he is in the attacking play. He's providing chances for his teammates by taking shots on goal, deflections, like I said, but also by playing through balls through down the line to maybe the other winger, who then crosses it into the box for somebody else to have a shot. So he's involved in the play, and it massively makes sense when you see the style that he plays as well. I mean, Stuttgart are one of the teams that are linked with him, and of course they signed Bilal El-Khannouss on loan from Leicester this season, somebody that Leeds were looking at. And Bilal El-Khannouss is somebody who can also play on the wing, but likes to kind of cut inside. And then when he's got the ball inside, he likes to look forward and play those long through balls forward to midfielders who are making third man runs, or the striker or the other winger, etc., etc. Gustavo Prado is similar in that sense. He's a little bit more of an old-fashioned winger with his ability to take people on. He likes to drop deep. He'll give the ball to someone and then go and try and get a run in behind down the wing as well. He likes to cross balls into the box. So it makes sense that he is up there for these shot-creating actions. Creating 5 chances essentially per 90 minutes is a really, really good statistic to have, and something that Leeds are hoping to kind of get through Noah Okafor, but somebody like Gustavo Prado, adding him to the ranks would definitely help out in that respect. In terms of his pass completion rate, 82.4%, putting him in the 96th percentile. Does he pass the ball forward and carry the ball forward? Yes, he does. 5.45 progressive passes per 90, top 20% of players. 3.98 progressive carries per 90, top 18% of players, and successful take-ons, 2.21 per 90, putting him in the top 14% of players in men's next 14 competitions. So he is somebody who passes the ball forward, carries the ball forward. He's a very progressive, old-fashioned 1v1 winger with the ability to play the ball forward into dangerous areas as well. And then when you're talking about what I was saying before about wanting to kind of, he'll help out with the defensive duties, he'll take a player on, then he'll drop it off to a fullback, and then he'll start that run trying to get forward, which is why he's in the top 25% for progressive passes received. So he's in 8.54 per 90. So he's always giving the ball, going and being an option, or if he's not involved in the play to start with, he will go up the field and offer himself as an option to the players that are trying to play forward. So you've always got that kind of ball. The good thing as well about Gustavo Prado, and why I think this is probably a fairly legitimate rumour, is because he fits Daniel Farke's idealism of basically saying, I want my wingers to come back and help the fullbacks, because we can't play with this attacking fullback system without having help from the wingers when the time requires it. And one of those things is his tackles are 2.8 per 90, putting him in the top 2% of the men's next 14 competitions for wingers making tackles. So he is coming back, he's making tackles, he's also making blocks as well. 1.91 per 90 also puts him in the top 2%. So having said all that, those are the things that make it sound very, very positive. And he sounds like he is one of the top prospects as a young winger coming up through Brazil. When you're talking about his similar players he's being compared to John Arias at Wolverhampton Wanderers, being compared to Cherubini at Sampdoria, a few other teams, Ruben Colwill at Cardiff City, Miguel Almiron, of course, ex of Newcastle United. But having said all of that, he is a risk at £17 million when realistically you're looking at a lot less than that. His release clause, of course, of around 50 million is he would have to stay there for a few more years and become an excellent player, a bit like what Neymar did at Santos before signing for Barcelona, to be worth anyone ever paying that release clause. So it's, number one, it's a risk to pay that much because it might not pay off. He might not translate to the league well. One thing I will say about that, though, is that he seems like he's quite, for his age, he's not that young, 20. He is fully developed. He looks physically strong, tall, and well built, which obviously stands you in good stead for being in the Premier League. The second thing is signing somebody like Gustavo Prado. He is unproven at this level, and where Leeds are at the moment, if you're signing somebody like him, it's a bit of a risk that can you afford to take it? Because if it pays off, excellent. But when you were looking at other wingers with a bit more experience and a bit more kind of pedigree within European football, is this a big risk? Because essentially the slot in the squad for somebody like Gustavo Prado was Ladji Ramazani, and we let Ladji Ramazani go out on loan, so it seems like an odd decision then to bring in Gustavo Prado when you had somebody like Ladji Ramazani who is very much capable of those take-ons, capable of creating chances as well. Does it fully make sense to me? I haven't seen enough, they've sent out scouts to actually watch him. So yeah, they know more than what I do about him at this stage. But in terms of a business decision, sending out Ramazani on loan and then getting somebody like Prado instead of, if you're sending Elijah Ramazani out on loan, it seems to me that you're saying, well, we need somebody with more experience and pedigree to definitely gel and fit straight away. So then going out and signing someone like Prado kind of goes against that logic, is where I'm looking at it from. So that's the thing for me that I find that strikes me as a little bit odd about this transfer. And then number 3 as well is that what's your guarantee that you can get him over Stuttgart, and I think there's a few other teams who are supposedly in for him as well. Because if you spend a lot of time, effort and energy trying to get Gustavo Prado through the door and it falls through again, and somebody like Stuttgart comes in and gets him, or somebody else comes in and gets him, then you're back to square one again and you're scrambling around on deadline day for a Harry Wilson. So that's what I'll say with this one. He has potential to be very special. He does. I'm not saying anything against that. And I think when you look at his statistics, he looks like he fits Leeds United, and you look at the way he plays, he looks like he fits Leeds United as well, but it is a risk. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, whether you think this is a risk that Leeds should take, or whether we should put that money to better use towards a better, more established player as a striker, for example. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Thanks for watching Leeds Lately, and then I'll see you in the next one.